I'm Paul Lucas and I have the best job in the world. I get to fly around the world and make videos for YouTube, reviewing airlines and train trips and going behind the media hype, drawing back the curtain to find out what you really get for your money. I don't work with the airlines and I pay for all my trips myself, so you can be sure I'm giving you unfiltered, unbiased opinion about how to travel, who to fly, and whether it's worth the money. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell to be notified of all my videos as and when they land on YouTube. Hello and welcome to another video and good evening from a spectacular day here in Atlanta. I'm in a great mood because today I'm going to be doing something that I have been trying to do for 3 years, and today it's finally happening. I'm flying Delta One Suites on their Airbus A350-900. We're off to Los Angeles. Enjoy the video. That's right, we're in Atlanta, which just reclaimed its crown as the world's busiest airport. And not only is it the world's busiest, it's also Delta Airlines' biggest hub. The airline normally flies the Airbus A350 on long intercontinental routes, but I found out it was flying domestically, and naturally I couldn't resist giving it a try for myself. In this video, we'll take a look at the A350 and the much-hyped Delta One Suite, the airline's top product, on a long domestic flight between here and Los Angeles, covering 1,942 miles in 4 hours 20 minutes. I'm glad you're joining me. Let's strap in and go flying. One of the things that I've got to do before we board the plane today is pick up some dinner. And now it's going to confuse some of you. Why are you picking up dinner? You're traveling in first class. Surely you're going to get fed. Well, I'll tell you more about that when we're in the cruise up at 40,000 feet. But right now, I'm going to try and pick myself up a sandwich or something. Oh my God. Oh, plus tax. Jeez. Including tax, this set me back $8.55. It had better be good, hey? Now, you don't normally get into the lounge on a domestic first class ticket alone, but thankfully I'm a SkyTeam Alliance Elite Plus member, so I am allowed in on that basis. Actually, this club is pretty nice for a US lounge. It's busy, but I love Delta's style, and there's a buffet, an open bar, and my absolute favourite thing, an outside terrace. Fresh air and a drink right before a flight are a great combination, and I hope to see more open air terraces in American airports in the future. It eventually got so busy that the lounge closed to new entries by the time I'd left, so I was pretty glad I'd arrived early. All right, here we go, finally. Coming face to face with the Delta A350-900. They'll be taking me all the way to Los Angeles today, about 4.5 hours flying time. And isn't she a beauty? 3 years she's been eluding me, and finally I'm getting to ride on one. Our aircraft today is just over 4 years old, and whoa, have Delta's A350s been around that long already? It seems like the pandemic stole more time from me than I thought. Look at that, we have a completely full first class cabin today. Domestic first class is often sold out in the US. The frequent flyers can just burn upgrades relatively easily, so I'm not too surprised to find no empty seats. All right, here we go, an empty jetway. We are boarding for a 9:32 departure. It's going to be about 4.5 hours over to Los Angeles. Let's check out Delta One Suites. I'm looking forward to it.
Hi.
Hey there.
Here you go.
Thank you.
What's your ladder?
7D, just over
D
here.
on the second
Thank you.
hour. First in the middle.
And here we are, Delta One Suites. There's one cabin of 32 seats. I'm in 7D today, near the back, and you'll notice that my seat is flush with the window, like all odd-numbered window seats. It's a very private, cosy space, and I liked it instantly. Even-numbered rows stagger slightly and are closer to the aisle, and eagle-eyed viewers will notice there are no honeymoon seats, that is, seats pressed right against each other for couples in the middle aisle. I love Delta's brand colours. Apart from my supermarket sandwich, I think the seat and the whole cabin look really attractive, and I absolutely love the overall aesthetic. The airline's design choices have come with a cost though, as we'll see a little bit later in the video. So I've flown on quite a few closing door suite aircraft now, and I'm just really surprised at actually how big this is. It really is as big as it looks in the pictures. It's pretty wide. We have got another shoulder strap business class seat, I see. These are becoming so much more common now. Alright, let's get to it. This seat, I have things to say. First off, let me say this cabin looks even more stunning at night. The lighting is simply great. I love all the accents in the cabin, and even the seat controls are sensible and come with a handy do not disturb sign. There are power outlets, of course, and why do USB chargers never go in first time, by the way? This seat is much wider than it first appears, and there are even individual air vents. All very good so far. What I don't like so much is the table. It's 2022, this is not an old product. Please install tables that don't trap us in if our plates are still on them and we need to get up. And finally, these design choices. Look closely and you'll see this cabin is not aging well. Lots of scratches and dirty scuffs. Please, airlines, don't use white so much. Passengers just often aren't considerate about dirtying your lovely aircraft, even in first class. Finally, the big selling point of this seat, the hand-operated closing door, which gets ever so close to actually closing, but never actually does. So does the closing door make any difference? Well, in my opinion, not really. I mean, if this seat came without the door, it's still really private and you can't see any other passengers. The only time you can see passengers is if they're walking up and down the cabin. And to be honest, the door is not so tall that people walking down the cabin aren't going to see you. So I have to say it's a bit of a gimmick. It doesn't really add much, but still the seat is absolutely fantastic. It is so large, so wide, and there's nothing really to complain about in terms of privacy. Oh, hey. What do we have? And I'll get some of these, thank you. Yeah, so about me buying that pre-flight sandwich, Delta does not provide meal service on this flight. Yes, you heard me right, 4.5 hours in first class and you will not get a meal on this flight. There are just crisps and a cereal bar, so Yeah, for a Brit, I travel in the US quite a lot, and I'm familiar with how the US airlines work, which is why I came prepared, but I really shouldn't have to. If you're paying cash, domestic first class comes with a hefty premium, so this really isn't acceptable in my view. Have a new go-to drink on board aeroplanes, and it's this. It's a vodka cranberry. Let me know if it's your sort of drink in the comments below. So if you're a subscriber to this channel, and you should be, you'll have seen me on some shorter Delta flights before, getting fed a meal. So what gives? Well, this flight leaves after 9 PM and there are no meals on domestic Delta first class flights that are under 2,300 miles long after that time. You can find this out for yourself if you navigate to Delta's site, where they happily tell you about their meal services until 8:59 PM, but don't explicitly say that after 9 PM you are going hungry. Forewarned is forearmed, and you can always check the meal services in Manage My Booking. I don't like to moan too much, but I do think that is a rubbish policy, and it's not even COVID related, so let's take our minds off it by watching this rather cool storm. It's always a nice day above the clouds, and we have smooth sailing over the worst of the weather all the way today. One area that all American carriers stand out in is entertainment. This screen is 18 inches in full HD and contains a superb selection of in-flight entertainment with full series of many shows and even some half-decent headphones to listen to them on. If you don't fancy that, then the Wi-Fi is pretty good. Streaming I found priced a little high at $34 for the flight, and I personally reckon the $20 pass that does everything but streaming is a much better buy. Well, at least for me anyway. The bathrooms were spotless and well kept, and with just over an hour to go, I tested out the recline and bed mode of this Delta One suite. This is actually a pretty good bed, plenty of space for people up to about 6 feet tall, and a decent foot cubby so you won't be too constricted while sleeping. I reckon I'd be pretty happy flying this seat on long haul, although as a rule I do still prefer United Polaris. Still, that's also a great seat, and there is no shame at all in coming second to it. And there we have it, safe and sound in LA. I paid $911 one way, which is a pretty high fare. I justified it to myself because I had a stack of COVID vouchers to burn with Delta, and because I really wanted to fly this Airbus A350. But I tell you, it sucks that you don't get fed in first class for that price, and even though I booked the flight with that in mind, it still doesn't make it a better policy, and North America continues to be an outlier in how poor the food offering can be. Still, I found the seat to be just as good as I expected, even if it is aging a little quicker than Delta might like, and I'd definitely fly it on a longer route if I had the opportunity. Thanks so much for coming with me on this trip, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.